So heartily welcome to all the bankers in this session. And today we are going to discuss again a very important question and answers that is related to your module B. So I want 100% participation from all the bankers who are just attending this class. So before to proceed, I would like to say if you just not subscribe the Officer Center 24/7 YouTube channel, so subscribe so that you can get important videos, important notifications related to examination, as well as download the Adda 24/7 application so that you can get everything at a one place. Okay, so before to proceed this session, I would also like to say, just hit the like button and share this video to your friends, to your colleagues, so that maximum number of our bankers can join with us in this session. So one important update also I would like to say, our target batch is started, so you can just enroll in the target batch because now the JIB registration also started. So I think you should just enroll in the target batch, and in this target batch you are going to get the 84 mock tests, 82 e-books, 130 hours live classes. And the important thing that whatever the content that is provided by the faculties, that all will be the exam oriented. Okay, so I think we actually focus on the quality content. So that's why I think you should all enroll the in this target batch, and you only have to use the code that is Y422, and with this code you are going to get the big discount on any JAB and CAIIB product, whether it is a mock test, whether it is your ebook, or whether it is the live classes, right? So don't miss out this golden chance. You are getting the flat 77% off. Just use the code Y422 and just let's start today class. So I just want 100% participation from all the bankers who are just watching this session. So if I'm talking about a bank reconciliation statement that is prepared with the help of what? Tell me quickly, quickly tell me what would be the answer of this question. Whenever you are getting a question that is related to bank reconciliation statement, you have to understand there is a cash book and there is a passbook. Okay, there is a two column, and both actually related to a one customer. Okay, वो both actually both just both related to the one customer, that is cash book and the passbook, and this passbook is actually understandable as a bank statement. So whenever you are just getting the term that is a passbook, you also have to understand this passbook is also known as a bank statement. So whenever you are getting a question like a bank reconciliation statement, that is prepared with the help of what? So you have to understand that is a bank passbook and the bank column of the cash book. Okay, so in the both, like what, why we just say that is it is a bank reconciliation statement. you know it means that reconcile means that to make harmony with. Okay, to make harmony with, like if I'm talking about the cash book to the passbook, love the passbook to the cash book. So this is the main reason for the bank reconciliation statement, why we are just telling about that. So a bank reconciliation statement is actually prepared with the help of the bank passbook and the bank column of the cash book. Okay, so that is the right answer of this question. That would be the A for this given question. Now just attend or try to attend the second question. This is also from the BRS chapter. Just tell me what would be the answer of this. Anybody can tell me what would be the answer of this? Look, whenever we talk about like the overdraft is given, there is an overdraft of the 10,000 as per the passbook. That means this actually reflecting the credit has been taken by the customer. All right, what it is representing, that is credit has been taken by the customer. All right. So whenever there is an overdraft of the 10,000 rupees as per the passbook, whenever the passbook balance is given, that means the very first step you have to do, that you have to write the cash book. Okay. Now the second thing, that what you have to do, you have to make the table like this, like the cash book and passbook. After that, if you just written here that is cash book, so just circle here and just circle here. Now we are just going to read all the conditions that is given in the question. So the very first thing, that there is a overdraft of the 10,000 rupees as per the passbook. That means this is actually showing the credit facility has been taken by the customer. So whenever it is given like this, so we have to just write this figure with the 10,000. So this would be the first step of your when you are just going to solve this. The second step, a check is issued but not paid into bank or 20,000 rupees. What it means, that whenever we just talking about like a check is issued but not paid into the bank, that means the check is issued but it is not paid to the bank, or say it is not it is not paid by the bank still. So you can just consider that this amount is actually just reflecting as a zero in the bank statement. Okay. So if I just talk about, like, for the first condition, that cash book balance is a greater than or cash book balance is a more than the passbook, so your answer that would be the cash book balance is also the lesser than the passbook balance. So if it is a lesser than the passbook balance, that means we have to just write down the figure with the negative figure, that would be the 20,000 rupees. Now again the third step, that a check of the 15,000 is issued but not clear. Instead of issued, you should just write here that is deposited. Okay, because the term that is here, that is but not cleared. So we you have to understand this is not the issued here, this is deposited here. So a check of the 15,000 is deposited but not cleared. So that means if it is deposited, what I have just written here, that is deposited. You have to understand, I have written the deposited. So if it is deposited, that means customer is immediately going to record this transaction in his cash book. So that transaction is going to be recorded with the 15,000 rupees. But it is not clear, that means in the passbook it is still not reflecting as any amount. So this will be now the zero for the bank statement. Now I will say that passbook balance is a greater than or the cash book, or say cash book balance is a greater than or the lesser than the passbook balance. So your answer that will be the it is greater than the passbook balance. And if it is greater than the passbook balance, so how much, or say how much, by how much amount it is greater than the cash book balance. So your answer that would be the 15,000 rupees. That's it. Okay, now just quickly just solve this and tell me what would be the answer of this. So this would be the 15,000, or say minus 15,000. So the correct answer that would be the 15,000 rupees would be your answer for this question. Okay, I'm hoping that everyone just understanding this. Right. Now, the another question, that is retiring a bill under rebate means. Whenever we talk about the retiring a bill, what we understand by the retiring a bill, the very first thing that you have to understand, that is retiring a bill always considered as a bill that the bill that is before the due date. Okay, so whenever we are talking about retiring a bill, that means bill is just going to be paid without or say before the due date. So that is actually considered as a retiring a bill. Under rebate means, that means making payment for the bill before the due date. That is what this line means, that is retiring a bill under rebate. That means, just tell me everyone, what would be the answer of this question. So the answer of this question, that would be the making payment or for the bill before the due date. That would be your answer for this question. Okay, so I'm hoping that everyone just understanding this concept, right? So the correct answer of the retiring a bill under rebate means, that is making payment for the bill before the due date. So that would be your answer for this question. Next question, sale of 10,000 recorded as a 1,000 is an example of. So whenever we talk about, like, classification of errors is a very important topic. If I talk about that, that is classification of errors. So that is a very important topic for your accounting subject. Like, or you can also understand that is a very important topic for the trial balance. So whenever the sales of the 10,000 that recorded as a 1,000 rupees. So what I told about the error, or say what I told about, like, listen, just to erase all the stuff here. Okay. Sale of the 10,000 rupees that is recorded as a 1,000 is an example of what? So whenever you are posting any transaction with a wrong amount, so whenever you are posting any transaction with a wrong amount, we often understand that it is nothing but a error of the commission. Wrong amount, wrong totaling. Okay, totaling of the, like, instead of, like, if I just talk about, like, you just make mistake in the debit balance, or so totaling of the debit balance, or you just made a mistake in the totaling of the credit balance. So that is actually known as the error of the commission. Okay, so whenever the wrong amount, or say wrong totaling of the debit or credit balance, so that kind of the error is an example of the error of the commission. I'm hoping that everyone just understanding this. Okay. Next question. 2000 rupees received from the mystery. Whenever we talk about like any kind of the thing that is we are receiving from any type of the personal account. Okay, so in the cases of the personal account, we can understand that debit the receiver and credit the giver. That actually says the golden rule of the accounting for the personal account. What says? That is debit the receiver and credit the giver, right? So that we can understand, that means if 2000 received from the Mr. A, that actually represent like the Mr. A account should be what? Mr. A account should be here, that would be the credit, because credit the giver. But here one condition is that is given, that whose account previously as bad debts should be credited to. Whenever there is a condition that something rupees is received from the someone, okay, some rupees that are received from the someone, but whose account is previously as a bad debts, so that should be credited to which account? So your answer, that should be the bad debts recovered account. That should be the correct answer of this question. I'm hoping that everyone just understanding this. Okay. So because it is a case of where the we can understand that some amount we are receiving from any person and whose account previously has a bad debt should be credited to what? So the correct answer, that is a bad debts recovered amount. That would be the correct answer of this question. Okay. Now just try to solve by your side. That is another question. What would be the answer of this? Just tell me quickly what would be the answer of this question. Look, any decrease in the bank balance is recorded on which side of the cash book and in which column of the passbook? This is a very important question, and the same type of the questions we're going to get in the examination as well. So just try to understand in a pretty way. Whenever we talk about like any kind of the decrease that is in the bank balances, that is going to recorded on which side of the cash book. So I just told you that like if I'm talking about the cash book, all right. So if I'm talking about the cash book, just a minute here. Okay, so if I'm talking about the cash book, so what we understand by the cash book, that one side is a debit and other side is a credit. So under the debit side, we actually keep all the cash receipts, we actually keep under the debit side, and all the cash payments we usually keep under the credit side. That's it. Okay, so if I'm talking about any decrease in the bank balance, that actually reflecting the credit side of the cash book, isn't it? Just tell me what I'm saying here. Just try to understand this. I am saying that in the cash book, debit side actually reflecting the cash receipts and credit side actually reflecting the cash payments. That I am just saying that. Now if I say that any decrease in the bank balances, that is recorded on which side of the cash book? So that means if decreasing in the bank balance, that means cash is actually the decreasing. If I'm talking about the cash is actually decreasing in the bank balance, or say your bank balance is going to be decreased. Okay. So if I say that it is recorded on which side of the cash book, so your answer, that should be it is to be recorded on the credit side of the cash book. And if it is credit side of the cash book, that means it would be in the debit column of the passbook. So the correct answer, that would be your second part, B part. Okay, because cash book and the passbook both are the mirror image of each other. Cash book and passbook both are the mirror image of the each other. That's why whatever the account that is going to be credited under the cash book, the same account that should be the debited under the passbook. Okay, so I'm hoping that everyone just understood this, that any decrease in the bank balance, that is recorded on credit side of the cash book and in the debit column of the passbook. That we have to understand. Okay, next question. Next question is goods worth of the 10 goods worth of the 100 rupees given as charity should be credited to. So whenever we talk about like any kind of the goods that is a total value, which if I say that is 100 rupees and that given as a charity, okay, that means the very first thing, whenever you have to make the debit and credit transaction, the very first thing that you have to do, that you have to recognize which accounts is going to be included in this. The very first account, that would be the charity account, and another account, that is a purchase account. At the same account, we actually discuss if the owner, or say if the proprietor, just withdrawing the amount, withdrawing the money, or withdrawing the some amount of the goods from his company. Okay, that means in that also purchases account would be included, as well as drawing account also included, right? So whenever we talk about like goods worth of the 100 rupees that is given as charity should be credited to which account? So your answer should be that credited to the purchase account. That should be the correct answer of this question. Okay, so I'm hoping that everyone just understand this. If we have to just make the debit and credit entry, so charity account should be the debited to the purchase account to be the credited. That should be your correct answer of this question. Okay, so what exactly you have to do? That you have to just write in this way, that is charity account should be debited to your purchase account to be credited. That's it. That all thing we have to just write for the question number 7. Okay. Next question. Next question C. 2000 rupees paid as wages for erecting a machine should be debited to. Okay. Quickly tell me what would be the answer of this question. Just tell me what would be the answer of this question. Look, whenever we talk about like any kind of the wages that is paid for erecting a machine or for rectifying the machine or for correcting the machine, so should be debited to which account? The correct answer, that is a machinery account. So whenever we talk about like any kind of the wages that we actually paid, okay, as for erecting a machine, so that should be debited to the machinery account. That would be your correct answer for this question. Okay, I'm hoping that everyone just understood this. Goods sold to Mr. X for 640 was recorded in his account as of 640. So in the rectifying entry, Mr. X account will be debited. Just tell me what would be the answer of this question. 180, 460, 640, 1100. This is a very important question, and you have to just tell me what would be the answer of this question. Look, when I say that goods sold to Mr. X for 640 was recorded in his account as 460, the very first thing always you have to understand whenever you are making the debit and credit entry, the very first thing that you have to analyze that which accounts is going to be included in this transaction. So the very first account that should be just going to record here, the very first account, that is your what? If I talk about, just understand this. Okay, so goods sold to Mr. X, that means one account that would be the sales account and another account that is for the Mr. X account. If this purchasing is for the cash, okay. So sale is always generate the income, and whatever generating the income that we actually the credit, like for the golden rule of the accounting says for the nominal account, debit all the expenses and credit all the incomes. Okay, so now if I say that sales account, it is given here, so that means Mr. X account should be the debited, while sales account should be credited. Now, if I say that goods sold to Mr. X for 640 were recorded in his account as 460. So, if I'm talking about in the Mr. X account, it is only the 460 rupees that is debited. Only the 460 rupees that is debited. But instead of the 460, what should be the debited? That should be debit the 640. That means now whenever we have to just rectify the entry, what we have to do, we have to debit. If I say we have to debit by the 180 again, okay, because this would be the correct situation, this would be the wrong situation. We have to further just debit by the 180 rupees in the under the debit side. So the correct answer, that would be your A. Okay, next question. An amount of the 1000 is debited twice in the bank statement, the effect of it on the cash book. Tell me what would be the answer of this. an amount of the 1,000 rupees is debited twice in the bank statement. Look, whenever we are talking about like bank reconciliation statement, this is a cash book and this is a passbook, and suppose that we have to just consider, we have to just make for the cash book, right? So we are saying that an amount of the 1,000 rupees debited twice in a bank statement. That means 1,000 rupees is wrongly debited, okay, while making in the bank statement, or say in the passbook. That means under the passbook it is actually debited by the 1,000 again, or say wrongly debited. Now for the cash book, now it will impact on the cash book. Now what would be the effect of it, like on the cash book? So we have to say that this 1,000 rupees should be debited only one time, okay, but in the passbook it is by mistake, it is done by the two kinds of that, like 1,000 and again 1,000. It would be in the repeating mode. So if I say that this would be the minus 2,000 and this would be the minus 1,000, and if we have to compare the cash book to the passbook balance, so we can say that the cash book balance is a greater than the passbook balance. And if it is greater than the passbook balance, so how many times it is greater than? So your answer, that would be the 1,000. That means 1,000 rupees should be added. So the correct answer, that would be your A, 1,000 rupees should be added. So by this way we actually solve the questions in the examination. So that's all for this session. Now I just want to say, if you liking our effort, liking our effort, liking our content, just hit the like button and share this video to your friends, to your colleagues, so that maximum number of our bankers can join with us. And just do not forget to enroll the batches, because target batch is actually started, and the two classes are that actually just taken by the faculties. So what exactly you have to do now? You have to enroll the batches, because you also just going to get the recorded lectures as well. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining in this session. Now we will meet on the tomorrow at the same time. Okay. So just meet me like at the 7 a.m. regularly. So thank you everyone for joining me here.